let's just go ahead and start off by saying yes, I think you should. Now, that being said, you probably want to spend a little bit more stones if you do decide to spend on this banner. I would say roughly like 400, 500 stones if you do plan on going in. And the main reason why is just because of the fact that it is a featured SSR character guaranteed, and every single summon and every single unit here is usable to some capacity. Fu has it where he's giving the damage reduction. I believe her name is Eos. Eos is having it where she's doing a decent amount of support and building up dodge. Demigra is getting 80% damage reduction before attacking, 60% afterwards. We have Super Saiyan Blue Goku, who's able to tank some of the hardest hitting super attacks inside of the game right now during his active skill turn. And then, surprisingly, Warrior in Black is getting some use because people were reading his passive wrong, myself included. We actually starts off with 70% damage reduction, and as the fight goes on, as you lower the enemy's HP, then do you finally start losing damage reduction in this unit and swap it out for more attack, more crit, right? And sure, his final blow nonsense is still it's still bad. Doesn't matter which way you read that, it's still a bad part of the passive. But that's the worst unit on here. Think about that for a second. Let's go ahead and look at the worst unit of last year. Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta had just like, I don't even want to talk about it. It's just nonsense written all across the screen. No defensive capability, dies instantly. He sucks. He sucked, right? And the same thing happened for Super Saiyan 4 Limit Breaker Broly. And the same thing happened for Fu, unless you had a certain amount of STR orbs that you got. Because I think his was that you had to get STR orbs to build up his dodge. Yeah, STR or Rainbow. And it had whichever one is collected more. And he desperately needed that, by the way. But let's go ahead and stop looking at last year. If we look at this year, every single unit on here is really good to some capacity. Demigra is like a must run on the demonic power team. Eos is a must run on almost every team that she's on, just because of the fact that she's giving, what is it? I think it's 60% support or something like that. Yeah, 64% support, and then all allies get 2 key and 40% if you're not a crossover character. Like, this is still a really good support just for characters who aren't like on a restricted category, right? Like, really good baseline support for sure. And then if you do get hit, which more often than not you are going to, you just recover most of that HP back anyways at the end of the turn. So yeah, she's really good as well. Fu, we already talked about him, I believe, but he has the damage reduction, he has the attack stacking, he's doing lots and lots of just super attacks and additional attacks all in his passive. So while I got severely unlucky the first time I ran him, having a 50% chance to do a super here, having a 70% chance to super here, only needing 2 super attacks to be at max damage reduction, and then having is it crossover category ally attacking in the turn? Where is that at? No, it's right here. So you just need another extreme enemy, or sorry, extreme class ally or a super class enemy to get that extra damage reduction, and then the 70% chance of being an additional super attack. So like, yeah, like it's this guy's really good, and sure, he is restricted to time travelers, but again, he's kind of like a must run on that time travelers or crossover team. And I think we already talked about Super Saiyan Blue Goku, and yeah, we already talked about Bardock. But you're gonna have a lot of these multis where you're pulling multiple of these characters, you're pulling multiple dupes of these characters in 700 stones. And if you guys watched the summon, you should you could go ahead and check that if you want. But in my summons, I spent 700 stones. I got Goku maxed, rainbowed. I got Demigra, rainbowed. I got Fu, rainbowed. 4 copies of Eos and 4 copies of Bardock. So in 700 stones, you are more likely going to have a lot of these units rainbowed and seeing them at their max potential anyways. And that's pretty damn good, right? The other thing too to think about as well is if we go ahead and look at the EZA banner, which again you should have summoned on it too, you're going to see a lot of these characters on it to fill that team up even more. Pan is going to be able to support Goku a lot while also having a 70% dodge chance, and as long as you dodge, I think one or it's either 2 or 3 times, she has like over 1 million defense post super attack. But Mechicabra, another character who works almost very similarly to Demigra, which is having damage reduction, doing big attack stacks. Well, I guess he would be more in line with Fu in terms of like that, but just a slightly less damage reduction, right? But yeah, like these characters are pretty powerful, and again, just more characters who are either going to be used on the on Goku's team, like Pan, with Xeno in their names to help Goku activate that portion of his passive, or you're going to be filling out the demonic power team with Mechicabra and putting Fu on it and doing all this other stuff. Well, I don't know about Fu because I forgot about the time traveler stuff, but putting Mechicabra on it, putting Demigra on it, you know, putting Slug on it, yeah, again, it's just going to be pretty good. And another thing, and the last point that I did want to talk about is this. Let me go ahead and zoom in real quick. So when we got the EZA banner earlier this month, they talked about the fact that please note that the new SSR characters will be in the upcoming crossover summon and will not show up in this event, which we already knew. But they also put characters who belong to the crossover category will also be available in a summon event that will be scheduled to become available in the near future. Then we got the Heroes banner, the other Heroes banner, the non-EZA one that we were talking about it right now with the Should You Summon, right? We scroll all the way down again to the bottom part of the news, and it says the exact same thing. Please note that right here, characters who belong to the crossover category will also be available in a summon event that is scheduled to become available in the near future. And Goku's whole portion of his passive that kind of sucks right now is just the fact that he needs he needs either 3 or more crossover allies, or he needs a character who includes Xeno. If you're running 2 Gokus, you just need 1 crossover character for Goku to be at his max power, right? Well, guess what? We looked at, or Monato's pointed it out too. He looked at the last year's slot for the Dokkan Fest that drops during the end of this month, and that was Android 21, who was obviously a crossover character. We know that there is a possibility now that at the end of this month, it's most likely going to be a crossover character that is going to be put into Dokkan and most likely work extremely well with this Goku. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a Kamehameha unit or a Power Beyond Super Saiyan unit. People have pointed out that they want something like Goku Black, they wanted something like Gohan Black. People were also throwing up the idea of there was a Goku and I can't remember which specifically, but Gohan Black was the one being thrown around a lot from the Sparking Zero What If, right? And he would go on the Power Beyond Super Saiyan category because of, you know, the Rose form, just being able to give that, right? So yeah, and again, another thing as well, and this will be my last point that we're talking about. Which banner was it? I think it was Slug's banner. Here we go. Again, we look at Slug's banner, and it's just more hints of what the next character is going to be, right? We scrolled all the way down again, and goes more right here. Physical Goku Black will also be available in a summon event that is scheduled to become available in the near future. Why would they tell us this? What is the purpose of them telling us that Goku Black is going to be available in one of the newest summons? They said it for the Gammas as well. They're saying it for this unit as well. Why? Why are they telling us this? And the only reason why I could think of it is because they're going to be doing a crossover banner that's going to have it where it's going to be like Gohan Black, like how Manatos was suggesting. And then because of that, we're going to have it where you're going to be wanting to run this Goku as the main leader. You're going to have it where he's going to be a Power Beyond Super Saiyan character, or he's going to be a Kamehameha character, and he's going to be on the crossover tag and leading the 200% for that. And again, no matter if you run Gohan Black as the main character, and then again, that's 3 characters who are on the crossover category, or you run 2 Gokus, and then there you go, you just filled out your mission of getting 3 Gohan Black, or sorry, 3 crossover characters again. So I think with all of that included, and with the which is the fact that the heroes units are actually good this year, I would say that this is kind of like a must summon, because you're taking a team that you're taking a lot of units that can work in different places, and you're making it where they're not restricted to their own team. And even the units who are restricted to their own team, like Fu, who's restricted to crossover, or restricted to time travelers, they're going to be good in the future. You're looking at a unit like Goku, who's restricted to crossover but needs 3 characters of that, or 1 Xeno character. It's going to be getting buffed in the future. Bardock doesn't have any restrictions on him. Demigirl wants to be run with demonic power, but it's fine. And then Eos just has no restrictions on who they want to be with at all, I don't believe. Oh, they need 1. They need 1 crossover category ally attacking the turn. Wow. They're dropping all these crossover units that, again, it's just not something that really matters. So yes, I think this is a must summon. And while they are going to age out most likely by January, I don't think it'll be that bad where they'll be unusable for sure. And not only that, this is just like an extra point, and I'm not going to focus too much on, but the other units are on here too. And from this point on, right, so like all these characters beyond, if you get any of these characters, or just pull the new units, of course, too, we already know that they said that they're going to easy aid all of the remaining heroes units in the future, right? So what stops them from, well, Fire, for example, was talking about the fact that maybe they'll lose the licensing, so they can't make money, they can't do summons anymore off of heroes units, and they can only drop EZAs, not even an EZA banner. I don't think it's likely, but in case that does happen too, summoning and getting some of these other heroes units as well, just fill up your collection, fill it up, so that way once we do actually get these EZAs for them, that you're able to use them. And I think that is worth noting. But that's it. No more for that. We're no more points for now. But thank you all for watching. Hope you guys all have a great week. I hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace.